Okay, let's jump right in. We're talking about the United Kingdom, a name that sounds simple, but it's one of the most complex and influential nations on Earth. It's an island nation sitting right off the northwestern coast of mainland Europe.
And right away, we have to clear something up.
Yeah.
It's a common point of confusion. The UK, the political state, is actually made up of 4 different countries.
Hmm.
You have England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland.
So when someone says Great Britain, what are they leaving out? That's a different thing.
Totally different. Well, not totally, but it's a geographical term. Great Britain is just the name of the largest island. That's where England, Scotland, and Wales are.
Ah, okay.
Northern Ireland is on a separate island, the one it shares with the Republic of Ireland. So the UK is the whole political package, all 4.
Got it. And that's our mission today, really, to understand how this relatively small area, what is it, about 94,000 square miles,
Yeah.
packs in so much history and modern influence. And I guess we have to start with the land itself.
Exactly. The geography really shapes everything else. You're surrounded by water, the Atlantic Ocean to the west, the North Sea to the east.
And that water gives it a really diverse landscape, doesn't it?
It really does. In the south, especially through England, it's mostly flat plains. Perfect for farming, perfect for building big cities. But then you go north into Scotland or west into Wales, and it completely changes. You get these rugged mountains, beautiful hills.
And even with all that countryside, which is still used for farming, most of the, nearly 70 million people live in cities.
Oh yeah, they're packed into these dense urban areas. It's not a nation of quaint little villages anymore, not for the most part.
Which brings us to the weather. People always talk about the weather. They call it temperate.
Right, and temperate sounds pleasant, but really it just means mild. It avoids extremes.
Mild, okay. But unpredictable is the key word, I think. You might get summer highs around 70 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe winter lows near 40, but you could also get 4 seasons in one day.
You really can. But here's the interesting science bit. If you look at where the UK is on a map, it's as far north as parts of Canada. It should be way, way colder.
So what's stopping it from freezing over?
It's something called the Gulf Stream. It's basically this huge current of warm ocean water that flows up from the Atlantic. It acts like a giant natural heater for the whole country.
So that's what keeps it mild.
Exactly. The downside of all that warm, moist air, though, is rain. Lots of rain all year round. Snow is pretty rare unless you're high up in the mountains in Scotland.
So a small, crowded, mild, and wet island. How do all those people get around? Let's talk about infrastructure.
Movement is everything. The country runs on this complex web of motorways, basically big highways connecting the major cities. That's crucial for moving goods. But for people, the railways are still king. They're fast, they're popular, and often much quicker than trying to drive through traffic.
And in the big cities, especially London, the transport is iconic. You have the tube.
The London Underground, yeah. This is a massive, amazing system that moves millions of people into the city every single day. And above ground, you've got those famous red double-decker buses everywhere.
But there's a modern push, too, right, towards more sustainable travel.
Oh, for sure. You see more and more people using bicycles for shorter trips, trying to cut down on pollution and, the endless traffic jams.
London is obviously the huge center for business and culture, but it's not the only major city.
Not at all. You have places like Birmingham, Manchester, Glasgow. They all have their own powerful histories and unique identities.
And a lot of them grew during the Industrial Revolution, didn't they?
That's the key. That was this massive shift where people left farms to go work in factories. Cities they exploded.
And that sounds like it was probably pretty chaotic.
It was. Total upheaval. Overcrowding, pollution, noise. But it laid the groundwork for the modern UK. Today, those cities are incredible hubs for museums, theater, libraries. They're still busy, still noisy, but they're the economic engines of the country.
Okay, so from the busy city streets to the classroom, education is mandatory from 5 years old until at least 16.
Right. And the system is split into 2 main parts. You have primary school for the younger kids and then secondary school for teenagers. And everyone studies the core subjects: English, math, science, history.
And almost everyone wears a school uniform. That's a very distinctive part of the culture.
It is. It's meant to give each school its own identity. But the really big moment for a student comes around age 16.
The big exams.
The big exams, yeah.
Yeah.
They're called GCSEs. They mark the end of compulsory education and pretty much decide what you can do next.
So after those exams, what are the options?
Well, you can go on to what's called college or sixth form for more advanced academic study, which is the main path to university. Or you could go into vocational training, learn a trade. The system is designed to create pathways for everyone.
And that modern system is built on just thousands of years of history.
An incredible amount. I mean, you start with ancient people building monuments like Stonehenge. We still don't fully know how or why. But the first really huge change came about 2,000 years ago.
That would be the Romans. How much did they really change things?
Everything. They brought organized cities, a legal structure, and they built this incredible network of roads. Some of those routes are still used today. They really brought a sense of order to the island.
But then they left, and other groups came in, like the Vikings and the Normans. Did they just tear down what the Romans built?
No, it was more like they built on top of it. They added new layers. The Normans, especially after 1066, they completely reshaped the English language and set up the legal system that's still influential today.
And from there, the story goes global. In the 1800s, the UK becomes the world's first industrial nation.
And with that industrial power, they built a massive global empire. At one point, it covered about a quarter of the entire world's landmass. That legacy is still very much debated and felt around the world today.
And then in the 20th century, that power was tested by 2 world wars.
Absolutely. The wars were devastating, but they also led to huge social changes and helped create the modern social safety nets we see today. And all that history is still visible. You can see medieval castles, grand cathedrals. They're all carefully preserved.
That sense of heritage definitely spills over into daily life, especially with sports.
Oh, yeah. Sport is practically a religion. And there's really only one answer for the most popular sport.
Football. Or soccer, for our American
They're
listeners.
completely dominant. Millions play it. And the professional clubs have these huge global fan bases. The rivalries are incredibly intense.
It's not just football, though. There are other big traditional sports.
Right. In the summer, you have cricket.
Yeah.
It's famous for its complicated rules and very long matches. It's a real tradition. And then there's rugby, which is known for being incredibly physical and strategic.
So physical education is a big deal in schools.
It is. It's about health, but also teamwork and sportsmanship. And lots of people just enjoy running or swimming or cycling on their own.
All that activity makes you hungry. Let's talk about the food. Some traditional dishes are still super popular.
Definitely. The #1 traditional takeaway has to be fish and chips.
Hmm.
Fried fish, thick potato slices. Classic.
And you can't ignore the full English breakfast. It's a monster of a meal.
It really is. Eggs, bacon, sausages, beans, toast. It's designed to keep you going all day.
Mm.
And then there's the Sunday roast. So for a lot of families, that big roasted meat meal on a Sunday is the anchor of the week.
But the food scene has changed a lot, hasn't it? It's much more international now.
Oh, completely. The diet reflects all those global connections. Curry is so popular now that some people call it a national dish. Same with pasta. Most people get their groceries from these huge supermarkets that have food from all over the world.
And to drink, it has to be tea, right?
Tea is a huge cultural ritual, for sure.
Mm.
But water and fruit juices are just as common with meals. There's also a big push for healthy eating in schools now to reflect that modern diet.
Okay, from the kitchen to the lab. The UK has this massive legacy of scientific discovery.
It's foundational, really. I mean, you can trace the Industrial Revolution back to the development of the first steam engines there. Then you have the concept of evolution, which completely changed how we see the world.
And the one that affects all of us every single day? The invention of the World Wide Web?
Yeah, a British scientist. He invented the system that lets the whole planet connect and share information. It's an incredible legacy.
And that focus is still there today.
Absolutely. Universities and tech companies are leaders in things like software, medicine, and aerospace engineering. Science is a core subject in school for a reason. The economy depends on those technical jobs.
And that innovation also applies to how the country manages its resources. Coal used to be king.
It powered the nation for centuries.
Hmm.
But now there's a massive shift happening toward renewable energy. The UK has these really windy coastlines, which are perfect for setting up huge offshore wind turbines to generate clean electricity. Solar is growing too.
And at the same time, they're still farming staples like wheat and potatoes. How do they balance that with protecting nature?
It's a big priority. They have national parks, which are large protected areas. You'll find common wildlife there like red foxes, rabbits, and all sorts of birds.
And in the water.
Coastal waters are home to seals and dolphins, and there are protected marine areas for them. It's all part of this coordinated effort to balance modern needs with preserving their natural heritage.
And this mix of old and new, it also drives the arts. In literature, you can't get bigger than Shakespeare.
His influence is still felt everywhere. And in music, British artists have been just dominant in pop and rock for decades.
And you can see that mix in the cities, right? An old medieval church standing right next to a super modern glass skyscraper.
Exactly. And for live performance, London's West End is still one of the biggest theater districts in the entire world.
So if we pull it all together, the UK is this place where thousands of years of history are constantly meeting modern technology.
That's a great way to put it. From ancient tribes and Roman invaders to the Industrial Revolution, that past is always present, but it's blending with all this new innovation.
The history is everywhere you look, but it's a nation that is very clearly focused on the future.
I think the most important takeaway is this. Protecting the environment and pushing science forward are seen as absolutely crucial for this island nation to keep thriving in the 21st century. It's a balancing act.
Good luck with your studies.